What a shot.
Shot scores!
That is your winner.
Scores! A highlight reel goal as the Panthers are back-to-back Stanley Cup champions.
Welcome you to the Canadian Tire Center in Ottawa, Ontario. The New York Islanders trying to get their second win of the season. The Ottawa Senators trying to get their second home win of the season. They both won their first games on Thursday as they look to have a good matchup here tonight. And we welcome you in, everybody. If you're just joining us, I'm Max. Glad you're with us here as it's going to be an interesting matchup. I don't know why that's the thing at the bottom is just saying the day of. It's not even Friday. It's just Saturday. I don't know what's up with those times or whatever. But with the Ottawa Senators and the New York Islanders, we have not done. I don't think any of these teams on the main channel. I think we did Ottawa once, but we haven't done one in their home building. We've never done the Islanders in the main channel, so they are going to be on here. And for the Ottawa Senators, they made the playoffs last year, got eliminated in 6 by the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they have kind of gotten to a shaky start here. They have given up the first goal in every game this season. They need to clean up some stuff. Obviously, they have the worst goals against right now in the league by allowing 25 into their first 5 games. Their penalty killing is one of the worst in the league as well, with a 55% effectiveness. And scoring the first goal, they have not done that this season. And they have allowed the first goal. But they have had some bright spots in the young season. Shane Pinto has 6 goals. That's tied for the first in the NHL right now in this young season. And they need to fix some stuff. Obviously, they got pummeled by the Sabres the game before they won their first one against the Kraken, 8-4. They need to clean up some stuff defensively and all that. For the New York Islanders, they got their first win against the Edmonton Oilers. Matthew Schaefer, the first pick of the 2025 NHL Draft. He is the youngest player in NHL history to record a point in each of his 4 career games. He's looking to make that 5 straight to start the season. This is the first time Schaefer is playing in an NHL game here in Canada. He grew up in Stony Creek, Ontario. Probably a lot of family will be visiting him as he is one of the bright spots for this New York Islanders team. As we have some injuries, obviously Ottawa is going to have to navigate through this young season as they don't have their captain Brady Tkachuk due to a thumb injury. Had surgery on Thursday and he's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. So they're going to have to figure out what they can do without their captain here to navigate the ship for the Ottawa Senators. We will see what this matchup entails with us. We'll be right back with the puck drop coming up next. Tire Center here in Ottawa, Ontario. The New York Islanders on the road here as their starting goalie here tonight, Sorokin in net. He has not gotten a win. He's 0-3-0, 4.18 goals against average, and a .854 save percentage. Linus Ullmark with a big performance in their last win for the Ottawa Senators. 2-2, 3.72 goals against average, and a .862 save percentage. Not the best save percentages so far in the league, but they are going to have to work on it here if they want to get a win for their team, for their respective teams here. We welcome you into afternoon hockey here on the NHL and MHS. I'm Max. Glad you're with us here at the Canadian Tire Center in Ottawa, Ontario. The Senators trying to get a home win here in front of their home crowd. Let's give you the national anthems.
Time.
Or maybe not, I don't know. No, we didn't. It was right after the anthems. I thought we were going to go to the anthems. There's Schaefer on the bench. First round pick in the NHL draft. He's the youngest player, obviously, to record a point in each of his 4 career games. Family here, obviously, in the seats of the Canadian Tire Center. He's trying to make an impact here for the Islanders, try to get their second win of the season. Ottawa looking for their second win of the season here at home. This is a very early game. This is a 2 o'clock start. And we have a lot of games here in the NHL, around like 13 or 12. We'll give you score updates after the first period and after the second period. We're underway here in Ottawa. Shane Pinto wins the faceoff, and Zub will dump it back in. That's going to be an icing 5 seconds into the game. So for the Ottawa Senators, they're going to need to clean up defensively here and get some offense going. The Islanders need a harder forecheck as even though they won against Edmonton, they got a power play late that got them the game winner, Bo Horvat, with a one-timer in the slot. Got them the game winner there. Referees Cody Beach, Peter McDougall, and the linesmen Tommy Hughes and David Brisebois. As the faceoff's in the Ottawa zone, on the left of Ullmark, faceoff won by Barzell, shot wide of the net. Rimmed all the way around by Boquist. He's in the lineup now, shot right into the glove of Ullmark. Duclair with the opportunity in front of the net, and Ullmark makes the save. About to say was Adam Boquist in the lineup here as Alexander Romanov has an upper body injury, and he's day-to-day and was not going to be able to play this game. And Adam Boquist, his first game here with the Islanders this season. Behind the net, Palmieri, a backhander that was blocked. And the other way come the Senators. Here's Gregg moving it ahead. Dumps it back in from center. They say that's onside if they were going to move it in. Now they got to touch back, and it's dumped back in here by Cousins. Cousins delivers a hit there on D'Angelo. And along the boards is fought for. Continuing to fight for the puck was Barzell. And D'Angelo will flip it out to center ice. So the only shot on the shot clock is the Islanders with only the one shot there. Big save by Ullmark early on in the game. Jensen will move it ahead. Couldn't handle the puck was Perron. Heineman will move it into the middle for Horvat. Horvat looking to center one for Schaefer in front of the net. He was open. Horvat a shot that was wide of the net. Wouldn't that be something as Schaefer in his first game in Canada was able to get a goal. He got his first career goal against the Washington Capitals in Long Island. Heineman gets ridden off along the boards. Bo Horvat had his second career hat trick on Thursday versus Edmonton. Schaefer's shot deflected just wide of the net. Schaefer almost continued that point streak. Shot by Drouin, I believe, from the point. Deflects out of play into the netting. Schaefer this close to making his point streak go to 5 straight. He's already the youngest player in NHL history to record a point in each of his 4 career games. Age 18 and under to start a season. Sean Monahan with 5. 1943-44. Ted Kennedy with 5. Sidney Crosby 6. Wayne Gretzky 6. The longest one is Daig, one of the prospects that didn't never fully blossom for the Ottawa Senators. Alexander Daig has a 7-game point streak as the youngest. Face-off one here. Along the boards it is fought for. Rookies. Centering pass up high. Pelech's shot was blocked in front, I believe. Pelech will try to send him back into the corner and flipped out of the zone by Clevin. And that's going to be an icing. So a lot of whistles early on in the game. There's Patrick Waugh, his second season with the New York Islanders. 56-50-17 record as the Islanders head coach. Did not make the playoffs last year, though, as Ottawa and Montreal were in those spots. Shot towards the net was stopped. Rebound, Lee in front. Oh, what a save! Omark with the stick at the crease. He got the stick out, and somehow the Islanders did not score there. What a save by Omark, and he's bailing out the Ottawa Senators right now in the young season. Turnover here in front of the net. And regained here by the Islanders. Lee will move it ahead. He'll shoot it back in from center. And it actually deflects out of play. What a save by Linus Ullmark. Let's see that one more time. So a face-off win for the Islanders, just throwing it towards the front of the net. Lee, and then Pajot was robbed by Ullmark with the stick. What a save. And then a rebound there for Shabanov, and he still couldn't put it in. Shots are 4-0 Islanders, and somehow they have not had a 1-0 lead here. So close to getting it. Ullmark, spectacular in net. Ottawa 27-11-3 at home last season. They barely just got their first home win on Thursday against the Seattle Kraken. That shot wide of the net. Held in by D'Angelo along the boards. And now fishes it free and gets it to the corner. Now behind the net, Sazika's got taken down behind the net. Fished free behind the net now as D'Angelo will face it back to the point. From distance, a shot was blocked towards the net front. Eller will clear it for Ottawa. Out to center ice. Islanders get possession back. Where's the puck? It's back in the Isles zone as Zetterlund will get to the loose puck behind the net. Fabian Zetterlund back to the point. One of the Ottawa Senators went down. Zuba shot. Save! Sorokin, his first shot he's faced here in this afternoon game. And he makes a save. There's also the first shot for the Senators in the game. Sorokin trying to get a bounce back game here. He has an .854 save percentage. He's 0-3-0 to start the young season. But he stands tall against the Ottawa Senators. He is 4-0-1 against them in his career. A 1.97 goals against average, a save percentage of a .942, and saves in the game per game 32.4. He averages that against the Ottawa Senators. He's pretty successful against them. Zub playing it. Sanderson will send it in deep behind the net. Back up high, a shot in the slot. Was a good chance there by Batherson, actually. Horvat will move it ahead. Moving it in on side Hyndman. And that couldn't go. And now race for the puck here. It's a 2-on-1 for the Sens. Batherson's open. He shoots and a save. Cousins, it went off the goalpost. Along the wall. It is fought for. Perron gets it. It's stuck in the corner. It's still fought for. Mayfield trying to get it free. And now Schaefer will pick it up for the Islanders. And he fanned on the pass initially. He gets it out to center. It's going to be an icing here, I believe. No, it's not. It's waved off at the last second. Nice hustle there by Jonathan Drouin, I believe. Picked up here by the Islanders once again. Pulak will move it ahead on the stretch pass. Palmieri taken down in the corner, went two players. Up high again. Here's Boqvist, and he sends it in deep. Up high is Boqvist once again from the pass from Barzal behind the net. That pass got through, but Islanders still have possession on the perimeter. And moved ahead here by Pinto. 6 goals already in the young season for Shane Pinto. He's cutting to the net, and he couldn't get the pass. Along the boards. Oh, looked like a penalty almost. No, it's Palmieri holding it along the boards. Pinto pressured off the puck by Palmieri. And swung around there as it goes around the boards on the perimeter for the Senators. Up high again. Here's Clevin sending it deep. Along the boards is Stützle. Up high again. Now it goes into the corner. There's 3 down. Clevin's on the other side, and the pass is deflected away. Giroux passing it for Spence, sending it deep into the corner behind the net. Stützle. Giroux has it. Back to Stützle in the corner. Stützle centered shot. Rebounds in front. Shot. Oh, what a save. Rebound shot. It's still loose and covered. Sorokin with his best save of the game. What a save by Sorokin on a great Ottawa Senators chance in front of the net. 2 big saves from 2 of the goalies in the game. Wow. Sorokin with a huge save there. Traffic in front of the net, and Spence with a quick shot. Then Stützle on the rebound stopped there. Wow. So far, we had good saves here in this game, and now the shots are now favoring the Ottawa Senators 6-4. Anders Lee will drop it off for Pelech, and it's sent back in. Schaefer was trying to get it. Clevin will get it along the boards. Fought for, comes free, centering pass. Lee is in front. Couldn't get it, though, as Clevin will try to clear it. Schaefer got it along the wall. Clevin again will clear it out to center ice. Islanders look to dump it back in once again. Clevin will get it in the corner. Rimmed it all the way around, and it's moved ahead here by Ottawa. And shot back in by Zetterlund. It would be offside if Ottawa touched it. They did, and we get our first whistle there in a while. 13:53 left to go in the first period. We're scoreless because of great plays by Omark and by Sorokin. We'll be back. 13:53 left to go here in this first period. We're back, everybody, in Ottawa. Thursday was a shootout win for the Ottawa Senators, 4-3 over the Seattle Kraken, and we're back into play here as it is fought for as the Islanders trying to get it free. McLean will move it ahead. Holmstrom trying to get it. Clevin, and it goes into the corner now for Pajot up high. Pajot was trying to get it again. He did. Eller couldn't get to the puck. Pajot back to the point. A broken stick interfered with that. The shot was blocked by Eller. Zetterlund will clear it out to center. Mayfield now in his own zone. So we've had a enticing almost 7 minutes of this first period. 2 big saves by Ullmark and Sorokin. Ullmark plays it behind the net. Zub now with the puck will move it ahead. Cousins got his pass back off the block by Palmieri. Cousins is back into the zone. Barzell stripped that away from him, and he gets the puck now. Pelech has a hard collision there by Batherson. Pelech almost put into his own net on the forecheck by the Senators. Perron was trying to get it back, and Pelech still has the puck. They're 8-2-2 in the last 12 games versus Ottawa, a plus 13 goal differential for the New York Islanders. Olmark playing it off the wall. Sanderson gets it out to center. Here's Batherson, 2-on-2. Batherson will send it deep into the corner for Perron. Perron along the board sends it deep for Cousins. Pressured off the puck by Palmieri and moved ahead here. Backhanded back into the zone by Boquist and played off the wall. Jensen was trying to get it. He does, and he clears it. Pinto, and he couldn't receive the pass there as it was between his skates. It goes all the way down for an icing with 12:16 left to go here in the first period at the Canadian Tire Center. Between the Islanders and the Senators, Shane Pinto with 6 goals. He's tied for first in the NHL with that mark, as he has been the offense basically for the Ottawa Senators. Linus Olmark against the Islanders in the past 7 games he's faced them, 6-1-0. So Sorokin's pretty good against Ottawa in general, and Olmark pretty good just against the Islanders. So this is going to be a tight matchup here, as the goaltenders have been big in this early stages of this first period. 6-3, the shots favoring Ottawa. Horvat and Pinto in the faceoff. Horvat wins the faceoff. Could not be held in, though, by Boqvist. Comes back out to center, now back into the Islanders zone again. Boqvist off the wall. Almost intercepted there by Jensen. It goes back for Boqvist. And it is D'Angelo with the puck. Passing it back to Boqvist. Moves it ahead here. Here's Horvat cutting in. Horvat on the outside. Horvat's centering pass was intercepted and moved ahead here. Onside of the Senators. Kaliev trying to pass it. Pinto. Now Kaliev goes back to the point. Sending it across. That pass was picked off there by the Islanders. Here's Drouin with a 2-on-1. Drouin waits, shoots. Saved by Olmark. Drouin. Big save there again for Linus Olmark on another 2-on-1 for the Islanders. That pass was deflected out to center. Sorokin out to play it, waiting. Almost gave it away there. We've seen a lot of that in the early season. Goalies giving away the puck. Saw that in the St. Louis-Chicago game, and then last night between Utah and San Jose. Askarov giving the puck, and it was a Utah goal. And result for that, what a big hit along the boards near in front of the benches. Schaefer playing it off the wall, sending it deep for Lee behind the net. It is fought for still. Zub took him down, no penalty. Up high is Schaefer, passing it across. Shot from distance, deflected wide of the net by Lee. Goes into the corner. Fought for. Behind the net now. Shabanov had the puck, now tries to center one, and it's picked away. Here is Stützle the other way for Ottawa. They're tired, so they'll go for a line change, and Stützle will dump it back in. Mayfield will get to the puck. 6-4, the shots favoring Ottawa. Schaefer will flip it out of his own. Intercepted at center by Spence. Picked up here by Clevin, and they whistle it down, I believe, on a hand pass with 10:22 left to go here in the first. The entrance here, and then Shabanov gets rocked there by Sanderson. Wow. And then Clevin on Lee. Ottawa kind of physical to start the game here. 5-2, the hits in favor of Ottawa. 6-5, the shots favoring the Ottawa Senators. They've done pretty well, and their goaltender's been playing really well as well. Olmark playing very great in net. Clevin playing it off the backboards of his own net. Spence will clear it out of his zone. D'Angelo will move it ahead. Cizikas will dump it back in. We're halfway through the first period. Olmark out the plate, had some trouble as he was tying up one of the Islanders so he wouldn't get the puck. Cleared, and that's going to be off the boards. No icing. D'Angelo backhands it around. Cousins finishes his hit right there. Holmstrom passing it back for D'Angelo. That is turned over at the blue line. A down low 2-on-1. Pinto passes across. The shot by Amadio went wide. Pinto again, and he shoots it wide. Amadio. And picked off the boards by Horvat, I believe. Passing it on the far wing. Here's a shot. Wide of the net. Rebound comes in front. It's actually Barzell, pardon me, on the rush there, the lead the rush for the Islanders. 7-5, the shots favoring the Senators. Matteo will flip it back in. Cousins trying to get through. Pulock will get to the puck to Pelech. Pelech will move it ahead, back for Pulock, and moved into the middle for Horvat. Horvat dicing his way through. Horvat tried to center one. Heineman has the puck now. Tries to center one again. Could not. Horvat gets it again along the boards. He's looked pretty good in this game early on. He had a hat trick against the Edmonton Oilers for their first win. The Islanders, a 4-2 win over Edmonton in Long Island. Linesman has a stick of someone as it goes behind the net. Along the boards, it is fought for. Comes free. As Heineman, Perron trying to get to the puck. Schaefer got it free for just a moment. Centering pass was picked away, and Horvat will clear it out to center. Sanderson now has the puck as the Ottawa Senators go for a line change. Sanderson carrying it in with some speed. Dropping it off. Zuba's shot broke his stick. Lead the other way for the Islanders. The pass did not connect, and it's an icing on New York. Wow. A broken stick for Zub, and it seemed like there's going to be an odd man rush the other way for the Islanders, and instead they ice the puck. Then Amadio with this opportunity earlier on from the pass from Pinto. 8-5, the shots favoring Ottawa here in the first 11:54 of the first period. At one point it was in favor of the Islanders 4-0. Now Ottawa's gotten back into the game offensively here. Spence will hold it in. Islanders have only had one shot since they had it at 4-0. Up high is Spence dancing the blue line. Up high it is Clevin who will hold it in. Sending it deep into the corner, along the wall. Kaliev could not hold it in, but now it's Stützle. Giroux centered. Up high is Spence. Passing on the far wing. Clevin shot was blocked. Spence up high again for Giroux. He shoots. It was blocked in front again. Shabanov trying to clear it. Could not. Stützle will get it free. Stützle centered. No one was there. Out of the reach. Giroux tried to hold it in. Cleared. Icing on the Islanders. And so they won't be able to change. They had some tired skaters out there for New York. And another big hit by Perron in the game and on Pelech. David Perron, 1,180 games career played, as second most on the Ottawa Senators roster. Pajot. And the face-off one here by Cousins. Big hit there on Lee. Batherson sends it deep into the corner. Here is Jensen centering. That was blocked. Jensen again. Batherson. Pressured. Jensen again along the boards. Some tired Islanders skaters out there. Jensen. Behind the net is Batherson. Centering pass for Perron was blocked. Schaefer's been out there for 2 minutes. Now they'll be able to get a line change with a quick one. As here's Batherson passing it up high. A shot was blocked. Shabbat with the opportunity. Islanders get the change. They'll have to ice the puck once. No, they didn't. Did not have enough for icing. Perron and Mayfield were getting tied up behind the play. Jensen now with the puck for Ottawa. 6.5 to go. No icing. Played by Sorokin. Almost gave it away, almost. Jeez. Seen a lot of those in the young season. Pulock cleared it. Zetterlund will move it ahead. Cousins on the far wing. Cousins shoots. It was blocked in front by Pulock. And it's held in the zone by Zub. Sent it deep into the corner. Zub again. Shot was blocked. Picked up by Pulock. Or Pelech, pardon me. Sanderson now. Backhand pass for Zub. Moved it ahead here. Eller drops it off for Zub. Zub shoots. It deflected. Amadio got a piece of it, I believe, and it just went wide. Amadio along the boards. Back up high again, Sanderson. Up high. Eller's shot. Save. Rebounds in front. Squirted up high to the point. Spence. And cleared out of the zone. A 3-on-2 for the Islanders, though. Duclair trying to feed it. Duclair and his skates couldn't get it. Spence off his own boards will move it ahead for Amadio. Smart play there by Spence. Amadio drops it off. Here's a chance. Shot! Blocked in front. It's still loose up high, and Duclair on the backhand, now on his forehand, looking to flip it. Instead, he'll have some patience as the Islanders will go for a change. D'Angelo playing it off the boards. The forecheck there. The Ottawa Senators almost forced that to stay into the zone. Could not. Heineman's offside with 4:56 left to go here in the opening period. We are still scoreless. We've had chances in the game. Islanders, Senators, scoreless here at the Canadian Tire Center in Canada's capital. We're back, everybody, here in Ottawa, and it's a scoreless game right now. We have a penalty, actually. Heineman goes to the box, so the Senators are going to go to the power play. I guess that happened during the commercial. And Heineman for holding at 15:04, and a power play for Ottawa. The power play is at 22.2 effectiveness. That's 13th in the league. Penalty kill for the Islanders, 71.4% effectiveness. Along the boards is Batherson. That pass was broken up, and Horvat clears it. 4.5 to go here in the opening period in Ottawa. Sanderson with some speed. He'll drop it off. Batherson. Here's Cousins. Intercepted and is cleared. Nothing much on this Ottawa power play, 45 seconds in. Sanderson now behind the net. Has it between the circles, pressured by Pajot. Sanderson still has the puck, though. Sanderson will drop it off. Ottawa moves it in on side. Stützle. Cousins along the boards, now in the circle. Goes back to the point, Cousins. Cousins waiting. Still waiting, up high. Here's Sanderson. Back up high for Cousins, sending it low. Couldn't be held on to, and it goes back up high for Sanderson. Back for Cousins, working the points. Sanderson feeding into the circle. Stützle across, out in front, and it's cleared out of the zone. Shabbat now with the puck. We'll move it ahead with 25 to go on the power play. Dropping it off. Here's Pinto. Kaliev will swing it all the way around. Perron along the boards with 15 to go. Across for Kaliev. Sending it low in front. Pinto's shot in the slot was deflected away. Back to the point by Perron. Shabbat passing it. Perron's shot. Scores! It snuck through. Sorokin. 1-0 Ottawa. It snuck through Sorokin. Sorokin thought he had it, and Perron with the goal from the circle. It's a power play goal, and Ottawa's up by 1. Just leaked through the 5-hole with 2:59 to go in the first period, and Ottawa has a 1-0 lead. David Perron with the goal. Face-off won by the Islanders, and they're down 1-0 on a power play goal by David Perron, I believe. I think the power play was still going when he shot that shot and went in. It is a power play goal at 17:01. His Perron's second of the season. Shabbat and Kaliev with the assists. Barzal stripped of the puck. Pinto has the puck now. Pinto shoots. Saved by Sorokin. Ottawa trying to make it two quick ones here in the first period. 2:37 left to go. Ottawa up by 1 by David Perron's goal. We'll be back 1-0 Senators. Welcome you back. David Perron made it 1-0 on a power play goal. Kaliev won the assists on that power play goal. It's a shot with snuck through the 5-hole of Sorokin. Sorokin thought he had it. He did not. We're back here in Ottawa. Face-off in the offensive zone. Face-off won by the Islanders. Schaefer will move it ahead. Schaefer will get it back. And it is Pinto clearing it out of the zone. Islanders trying to re-enter. They're offside if they enter. Now they wait up and shot back in off the backboards. It took a funny bounce. Zetterlund will move it ahead. Clevin will shoot it back in. Off the glove of one of the Islanders. It comes back out to center with 2:11 left to go. Shabanov was trying to get it. Eller will dump it back in. Mayfield pressured off the puck. And they call a penalty up here with 2:02 left to go. And an Islanders power play. Nick Cousins, I believe, gets the penalty there. Slash, I believe. And the Islanders are going to have a power play to close out this period and potentially tie this game up at 1. I don't see the penalty. Interesting. Cousins doesn't agree with it. See if we get a better angle of that. That was such a quick replay we didn't even see. Travis Green looking at the penalty on the screens below. On the bench, they say a high sticking there at 17:58. Face-off won here by the Islanders. Horvat, they look to set up here. They're 18th in the league on their power play. Ottawa has one of the worst penalty kills in the league. They're 31st ranked. 55% effectiveness in the young season. Barzal will hold it in at the blue line. It comes back out to center. Schaefer gets through. Here's Schaefer. In, shoots, save. Rebound. He's diving to get his own rebound, and he's stopped. That was a nice move by Schaefer moving inside the zone. Schaefer just carried it in himself. He dodged a poke check from Greg, and then a shot kind of got blocked, but Schaefer got a pretty good chance there for the Islanders. 24 seconds in their power play with a minute and 38 left to go here in the first. 11-7, the shots favoring the Ottawa Senators. Horvat trying to win the draw. He does. Penalty upcoming again, and it's going against Ottawa. Delayed call upcoming. Schaefer tried to pass it, and it's going to be a two-man advantage for the Islanders. A minute and 29 of it. Oh boy, this is trouble here for Ottawa and an opportunity for the Islanders. Barzal was able to draw the call there on Zub. A hooking call at 18:29, a two-man advantage for a minute and a half. 1:31 left in this first period. They're going to have a two-man advantage for basically the whole period, for the remainder of this period. Horvat, Drouin, Barzal, Palmieri, and D'Angelo out there for the Islanders on this power play. D'Angelo holds it in at the point. Two-man advantage for the Islanders. D'Angelo again along the boards. They have a man back door. Shot by Palmieri. Fanned on it on the one-timer. D'Angelo will hold it in. A minute and 10 left to go here on the power play. Sending it low is Barzal. Barzal again. Sending it low again. Playing it for D'Angelo. Up high with a minute left to go on the 5-on-3 that deflected away. Barzal will get it with less than a minute left to go here in the period. Horvat's in front. Barzal's one-timer deflects wide of the net. And cleared out of the zone by Giroux. Palmieri re-enters for the Islanders with 44 seconds to go on the first period. Barzal, slap pass was blocked and it's cleared. Giroux cleared it out of the zone. Giroux was a big penalty killer right there with 30 seconds to go in the first period. 25 to go on the two-man advantage. Barzal carries it in to Horvat. Horvat feeding it across out of the reach. Got it back with Palmieri. Sending it low. Horvat's in front. And Barzal up high. D'Angelo, one-timer blocked. 12 seconds to go in the period. Barzal looking with 8 seconds. Sending it low. Two-man advantage about to expire. Up high is D'Angelo. One-timer by Barzal. Jensen blocked it. And it's cleared by Ottawa. What a big kill to end the period. They'll have 29 seconds of power play time. Regular 5-on-4 for the Islanders. But a big kill by Ottawa at the end of the period to keep it a 1-0 lead. David Perron with the goal on the power play. When we come back with the intermission report, we'll have score updates on what's happening around the league. And the goal will go over the goal and see what the Islanders were failing on that two-man advantage for a minute and 29 of it. They did not score on any of it. We'll be back. 1-0 Ottawa. Welcome you back here for the second period in Ottawa. 1-0, the Senators leading over the New York Islanders. They'll have some power play time as we start the second period. They have 29 seconds of it. And there's Matthew Schaefer, the rookie. He got picked in the first round in the 2025 draft. He is the youngest player in NHL history to record a point in each of his 4 career games. He's looking for 5 here. Dylan Cousins, he scored 3 goals in the last 5 games versus the New York Islanders. We're underway here in the second period. Shots are 11-5 in favor of the Islanders. They took like 2 shots away from the Islanders during that intermission. Pajot will move it ahead. Power play expiring. That goes low. Lee, Pajot. Pinto trying to clear it. 2-on-1, potentially a 3-on-2 shorthanded. Cutting to the net, it's Sanderson. Sanderson gets it now, shorthanded. Trying to pass it back to the point, could not. Power play expires right there. They're 0 for 1 on the night. Here's Pajot carrying it in, dropping it up off high, passing it down low. A one-timer fanned on by Shabnov, and Clevin will move it ahead. 2-on-1 for the Senators. Here's Zub cutting. Zub shoots, save, rebound in front, save made. Sorokin with a save there on the rebound. And it was Ridley Gregg with the opportunity in front of the net on the rebound, and Sorokin coming up big there to prevent a 2-0 deficit for the Islanders. As Zub just took the shot, big rebound. I don't think Gregg got all of that rebound. He didn't really take a shot there. Kind of bounced off of him. Didn't get much of it, though. Still 1-0 Ottawa, 13-5. The shots favoring Ottawa. They got 2 shots on that rush right there. They have the only 2 shots in the period. Face-off won by the Islanders. Pelech looking to clear it. And he will to Horvat. Pass is almost intercepted. It is intercepted. Jensen passing it. Shabbat will move it ahead. Onside Giroux. Claude Giroux along the boards. Pressured. And back to the point it goes. Shot. Save by Sorokin from distance. The shot from the point. 1 minute and 4 seconds into the second period here in Ottawa. 3 shots already for the Senators. None for the Islanders. They had a 5-on-3 before we ended the first period. Could not convert. It was 1 minute and 29 of it. And they basically didn't set up anything there. And it is shown here that Ottawa's taking control of the game after that big save by Omark with the stick to keep the puck out. Could have prevented a Islanders 1-0 lead. Now it's a 1-0 Ottawa lead. Palmieri will shoot it back in. Zub will get it along the boards. Is fought for. Barzell trying to get it free. Goes back. Islanders on possession here. Pollock holds it in at the point, sending it deep into the corner. And Sanderson will move it ahead. 3-on-2 here. Sanderson will move it in. They say onside. Sanderson gets it behind the net, gets crushed along the boards. Duclair will move it ahead. Gregg will look to move it up, and now it's Barzell trying to stretch it up for Palmieri. Could not. Back in on side of the Senators. Amadio will dump it back in. They'll go for a line change. Pelech now behind his own net for the Islanders. Almost 2 minutes into the second period. 1-0 Ottawa leading it. Over Long Island. A turnover here almost. And it's shot back in. Big hit by Cousins after McLean had dumped it back in. McLean gets it along the boards. Playing it. Holmstrom couldn't get it. Pressuring off the puck here. Forecheck is very strong here for Ottawa in this game. As the Islanders still have possession, though. Mayfield at the point. Pressured by Batherson. And Clevin will move it ahead. That's going to be no icing as it went on goal. Sorokin played it 2.5 minutes into the second period. Still a 1-0 lead by Ottawa. That was David Perron with a power play goal. In the late stages, the puck just kind of snuck in. Looked like an easy save, but Sorokin couldn't keep it out. Here's Eller the other way. Eller will shoot it back in onside. Eller will get it on the rebound off the boards. He'll go back to the point. Shot by Jensen was blocked. Ricochet towards the front of the net, and it's picked away by the Islanders. A breakaway here. Here's Horvat in. The save made. On a breakaway all alone in front of the Omark, and he makes another huge save in the game. That's going to be an icing on Ottawa. So they won't be able to change. And a big save on Bo Horvat, who had a hat trick against the Oilers on Thursday in Long Island. Their first win of the season, the New York Islanders, over the Edmonton Oilers. That was a 4-2 win. And Bo Horvat could have made it 4 goals in 2 games right there on a breakaway. All alone on Omark. The blocker saved there, and it keeps the score a 1-0 lead for Ottawa. Face off in the circle. Coming free, goes back. Boqvist will send it in deep. Cousins along the wall. Heineman trying to get it. Eller along the wall. It's fought for. And it comes free for Zub. Shabbat will move it ahead for Ottawa. Shabbat will carry it in. 4-on-3. He'll instead dump it back in. They'll go for a line change, I believe. D'Angelo. Cousins along the wall. Fighting for the puck. Still loose. Cousins was trying to get it. Mayfield will move it ahead now. Off this back of the skate there. And Boqvist will move it ahead for Lee. Lee carries it in. And is dumped back in. Goes to the corner. Pajot was trying to get it. Held in at the point by Pollock. Down low. A backhand on goal save made. Lee had a chance in front of the net. Couldn't go. Kaliev will clear it out to center. And it's Shabnov passing it across. We haven't had a whistle here in a while, and the play continues. Deflected back in by Pellick. Playing it off the wall. Clevin. Stutzla will move it ahead. It's a 3-on-2 for Ottawa. Stutzla passing it. That was intercepted. Another shot was blocked. It was from Clevin. And the other way come the Islanders. A 3-on-2. Barzell's in the middle. Passing on the far wing. Back for Barzell. Duclair was trying to pass it for Barzell. Back into the middle. Could not. Held in the zone, though. Barzell has it. Barzell with some patience. Leaving it. Shot! And a save made. Olmark with the blocker. Rimming it all the way around. Sanderson trying to clear it. Playing it off the wall. Clevin clears it out to center. Schaefer with the puck now. Looking to stretch it ahead, and it was intercepted at center. Carrying it back in was Pinto with 6 goals in the young season. Playing it off the wall. Matteo trying to get it. Playing it for Pinto's shot. That was wide of the net. Matteo will rim it all the way around. Back to the point. There's a delayed penalty upcoming to the Islanders here. Schaefer didn't touch it up, so it's still possession here by Ottawa. Delayed call coming up to the New York Islanders. Batherson to Shabbat. Shabbat looking low. Pinto waiting in the corner. Pinto surveying his options. Goes back up high. Batherson back for Pinto. A one-timer. He scores! Shane Pinto's 7th of the season. And it's 2-0 Ottawa. On the delayed call, coming up to the Islanders, Shane Pinto, a one-timer from the circle, has made it a 2-0 lead for the Ottawa Senators. That might have been deflected by Jensen in front of the net, I'm not sure. But for the moment, it seems like Shane Pinto's got it. And it's 2-0 Ottawa on a one-timer on a delayed call that was coming up to the Islanders. That might have been deflected by Jensen, actually. On the 15th shot for the Ottawa Senators, they get a 2-0 lead. And it is 2-0 Ottawa on the delayed penalty call. Playing it off the wall is Clevin. And McLean will get it. And held in by Boqvist, sending it behind the net. So the Islanders down 2-0 now. Clevin playing it off the wall. And it is cleared out, potentially a 2-on-2. Crossing the line, Eller drops it off. Here's a shot and a save made by Sorokin. Players get together in front of Sorokin after the goal. Pinto, his 7th of the season, has made it 2-0 Ottawa on a delayed call. 2-0 Senators. We'll be back in just a moment. welcome you back. It is a 2-0 lead. I believe Jensen deflected the Pinto one-timer goal. No, it is not for the moment. Most goals in first 6 games in Ottawa Senators history. Shane Pinto with 7, beating Daniel Alfredson in 05-06. And another Ottawa Senator I just didn't get the name of before. Face-off one here, and the Islanders trying to clear it out of their own zone. Held in by Batherson at the line. They say was on. Batherson gets it back. He gets tripped up and no penalty there. Up high, another shot. Oh, and the shot was blocked in front. Batherson along the wall. Pellick comes back up high to the point. Shabbat, that's way offside. Perron will move it ahead here. Onside, dropping it off. Shabbat, and he couldn't receive the pass there as it's moved ahead here. Onside are the Islanders. Bo Horvat along the wall. Going back to the point for Schaefer. Mayfield in the circle. Mayfield with some room. A save. Rebound. Score! Emil Heineman makes it a 2-1 game. That's a big goal for the Islanders to get back in the game, and it's now a 2-1 game here in Ottawa. As that shot was a big rebound in front. Batherson and Heineman were tied up before he got the rebound. Helped out for him. And it is a 2-0 lead, or 2-1 lead now for the Ottawa Senators as the Islanders have cut the deficit to 1. A big goal there. And it's now a 2-1 game here in Ottawa. Schaefer gave it away at the blue line almost, but cleared out of the zone, and the Islanders looking to tie the game here. Cutting to the net. Save. Rebound. Oh, it just scored it wide of the net. This close to the tying goal. Pajot back to the point for Mayfield. Across for Schaefer. A shot. Blocked in front of the net. Mayfield holds it in. Intercepted. 3-on-2 for the Senators. Now a 3-on-3 crossing the line. Onside. Shot. Oh, what a save. Sorokin on Stützle. Giroux will send it in deep behind the net. Going to the corner. Stützle with Kaliev. Stützle goes back to the point where no one was there. The pass was a little off the reach there. Zub. Shots are 17-11 in favor of Ottawa, and they ice the puck here. With 12:17 left to go here in the second period, it is now a 2-1 game. All of a sudden, Heineman with the goal. This was the chance for the backdoor feed, and it was right there for the taking. This close to a 2-2 tie and almost a 3-1 lead for Ottawa. Both saves there by Sorokin, and just the sticks and forecheck there and tying up the players are trying to protect there. Great play by Ottawa to keep that out of the net, or else this would be a 2-2 tie. It is cleared out by Amadio. He has the puck again. It was not cleared initially. Now he has the puck carrying it through center. Sanderson trying to pass it. Amadio has it in the corner, moving it ahead for Pinto on the other side. Pinto, who has a goal in the game, his 7th goal of the season already. Had the shootout winner in the 4-3 victory. As a shot by Pinto is wide and out of play. Shane Pinto has the 2-0 goal for Ottawa, but Heineman just scored to make it 2-1. Shots are 17-11 in favor of the Senators. Fun fact, if you haven't kept up with the channel, it's the first time we have the Islanders broadcasted on our channel here, and we hope to do more Islanders broadcasts one night, hopefully at the UBS Arena. That's the first time we've done one here in the Canadian Tire Center. We've done Ottawa Senators game before, but it's probably our second or third one we've done. Back to the point. It was not held in, and now a race for the puck here as Olmark plays it out of the net. Jensen, it went off the referee's skate, and the Islanders hold it in. But it is intercepted by Kaliev, and potentially a 2-on-1 that was broken up. McLean has it at center, playing it back. Pullock has it, playing it off the board, shot back in by McLean. Olmark out to play at 2-1. The score in favor of the Senators. Stützle will move it ahead. Onside, Batherson. Trying to get through, and Schaefer has the puck instead now, behind his own net. They'll go for a line change here, the Islanders. Schaefer has it behind his own net right now. 17-12, the shots favoring the Ottawa Senators. The latest goal coming from the New York Islanders with Hyman's goal. They've had opportunities in the game. They had Horvat earlier on in the period before the score was 2-0 to tie the game up at 1. On a breakaway, and he was denied by Olmark. That one was a rebound. Drouin holds it in, passing it down low. Horvat. Here's a shot by Hyman, trying to go for his second, and he's stopped by Olmark. Hyman gets it again. Shot from a tough angle, hit the outside of the net. Hyman has it along the boards. Pulock holds it in. For a moment, a broken stick on the ice here. Perron. Now back for Pulock. 8-6 these shots in the period favor of the Islanders. Pulock gets it on the slot. Pass back door. Horvat scores! Bo Horvat's tied the game. Bo Horvat, his 4th goal in the past 5 periods, has tied the game at 2. What a pass from the blue line there by Pulock. Wow. Entering the zone there was Anders Lee. Then passing into the middle for Pulock, and then Horvat on the backdoor feed. Islanders have tied it at 2 after Ottawa got a power play goal, or a delayed penalty goal. 4th of the season for Bo Horvat at 9:57. Anders Lee, one of the assists there on that goal with Pulock. The Islanders have now tied the game at 2. It is played off the wall there by Spence, and it is moved ahead here by the Ottawa Senators' Cousins. Now Zetterlund trying to get it to the net. He has not done much in this young season, Zetterlund. And here, cutting in, Shabanov was trying to get into the zone, and it was poke checked away on the back check. Ottawa's not going to be careful now. The 2-goal lead's gone. Shot back in from center. On goal, play by Sorokin. We are tied at 2 here in Ottawa. Moved ahead through the middles. Barzell cutting in on the far wing. Barzell has it on the backhand. Great pass to Duclair. Duclair has it behind the net now. Playing it off the boards to the point. Duclair gets it back. Schaefer. Palmieri leaves it. Pressure here by the Islanders. Barzell waiting in the circle. Will drop it off to the point. Duclair fires it on goal. Where's the puck? It was blocked. It was turned over here again. Sloppy turnovers. Palmieri, shot, save. Schaefer was trying to wind it up as well. He was open. But Palmieri took the shot with 8:37 to go. We are tied at 2 in Ottawa. back, everybody. A 2-2 tie. It was an Ottawa Senators 2-goal lead. And now it is tied at 2. Hyndman and Bo Horvat with the goals for the New York Islanders. And we are tied here on afternoon hockey on the NHL and MHS. We're glad you're with us here. Schaefer's out there on the face-off as it's won by the Ottawa Senators. Clevin trying to clear out of his zone. He will. Moved ahead here. Giroux is trying to get it. Playing it off the boards. Giroux. And now Zetterlund's back in. Zetterlund shot. Save. Sorokin. Ottawa trying to get their lead back. But there has been a higher tempo here in the second period. We are tied at 2. We have 3 goals in this second period. We only had 1 in the first. It was a power play goal by Perron and delayed call goal by Shane Pinto. And then 2 goals by the Islanders in quick succession after that goal by Pinto. Sanderson shoots. It was blocked in front of the net. Pellick, and it's intercepted by Stützle for just a moment. Zetterlund will bank it off the boards for Stützle, pressured by 3 Islanders. Cizikas was trying to get to the puck. Sanderson along the boards. His shot was blocked. Is a penalty upcoming? No, there isn't. No one knew where the puck was. McLean moves it up for Holmstrom and cleared out of the zone. Sanderson back in as Stützle. Dropping it off for Zetterlund. Up high. Spencer, one-timer was blocked. Sanderson sends it deep. Behind the net is Batherson. Pressured by 2 Islanders. Playing it back to the point, though. It was held in. Perron's in front. Sanderson waits. Nice patience at the blue line by Sanderson. Stützle along the board, sending it deep for Perron. And he gets angled off the puck there. And it is cleared down the length of the ice for an icing on the Islanders. With 7:19 left to go here in the second period. Tie game at 2. Islanders, Senators, Canadian Tire Center. Glad you're with us here on this afternoon hockey edition of the NHL and MHS. I'm Max. Glad to have you with us here in Ottawa. And we are tied at 2 with 7:19 left to go here in the second. 19-14, the shots favoring Ottawa. Patrick Waugh is arguing something on the bench, the head coach for the New York Islanders. He does not like a call, potentially. I'm not sure. Maybe he did not like the icing call. Patrick Waugh is confused on the bench here. Maybe he's confused on why that was an icing call. Something was happening with the referees here. Were they going to call a penalty? Bo Horvat arguing something. Patrick Waugh is still mad. They're still arguing about it. Pellick is arguing with Cody Beach. 3 Islanders arguing with Cody Beach, one of the referees in tonight's game. And they're actually going to call a penalty on the Islanders. So it's going to be an Ottawa power play, and that's why they're arguing why that there was a penalty. I did not see a penalty initially there. They don't have anyone in the box here just yet for the Islanders. The guy in the box is confused, and now it's going to be Cizikas going to the box, and the Ottawa Senators have a power play. They have been very successful on it. They're 1 for 1. They had a delayed penalty call, too. They scored on that. And they look to make it 2 for 2 on the power play. Greg gets kicked out of the face-off circle, and Stützle will take his place there. They call a delay of game penalty on the bench. Wow. Winds and fires one wide of the net with Sanderson. 95-mile-per-hour shot there by Sanderson. He gets it again. Passing it. Shot down low. Was blocked in front. It was Cousins with the opportunity right there. Omark. 7 minutes left to go here in the second period. Ottawa trying to get their lead back on this power play. Batherson has it now. Carrying it through the middle of the ice. Carries it into the zone. Greg off the skate of Sanderson. And Palmieri will dump it in deep. That's why Patrick Waugh was seated on the bench. They called a bench delay of game. No, I didn't see anything that would result in a delay of game there by the bench. Greg will rim it all the way around. Stützle will get it. along the boards. It is fought for. Maybe they were arguing that icing, and then they called a penalty on them. Maybe they are enraged by that. Here's a short-handed breakaway. Pajot is in alone. He's stopped by Olmark with the glove. What a save. The other way come the Senators. Stützle carries it in. Waiting on the far wing. Here's a shot off the mask of Sorokin. It's up in the air, and Sorokin's mask is off. With 48 seconds to go. Pajot with the opportunity on a short-handed breakaway, robbed by the glove of Olmark. And again, Olmark coming up big for the Senators once again in the game. Islanders have had, what, like 3-4 breakaways? And they haven't been able to score one. They've had the majority of opportunities, I'd say, on just solo opportunities on rushes, odd man rushes. And then that shot there was Pinto's shot, actually, trying to go for his 8th goal of the season. And it took the mask off of Sorokin. 21 career shorthanded goals, Pajot. 8 with the Islander. Was trying to make it 9 right there. Could not. Face-off one here. Shabbat from the blue line. He shoots! A save made by Sorokin from distance. Along the wall. Pinto's in front. Pinto! His one-timer was blocked. And it is cleared to the line, not out. Held in by Shabbat. Pinto's in the slot. Trying to pass it for Perron in the circle. Pinto intercepts. Pinto's in front of the net again. Giroux in the circle with 20 seconds to go. Giroux waiting. Passing it down low. Perron can't get a stick on it. Covered by Sorokin. 5:35 to go in the second. 21-15, the shots favoring the Ottawa Senators. 5:35 to go here in the second. And there's 16 seconds left to go on this power play for the Senators. 3 goals here in the second period. Shane Pinto with his 6th goal of the season to make it 2-0 on delayed call. Hyndman makes it 2-1. Oh, Patrick Wall still mad on the bench there. Still enraged by that call. And then Bo Horvat tied the game halfway through the second period. Haven't had a goal since that Bo Horvat tying mark. 22-15, the shots favoring the Senators. 16 seconds to go on the power play here for Ottawa. Clear to the line, not out. Here's a long shot that was blocked. Giroux gets it again. Giroux passing it down low. What a save on Eller! Sorokin made a save down low. 2 seconds left to go. Giroux down low. Power play is over. Centering pass. Oh, and Zetterlund couldn't put it in. The other way comes Pajot, passing it up the middle of the ice here. Cizikas. Cizikas shoots it. Deflected out of play. 5:08 left to go here in the second. We'll be back. 2-2 tie here in Ottawa. Welcoming you back here to Ottawa. Let's give you score updates around the league as the game's about to be back in just a moment. 2-2 tie here. And, power play here for the Oilers, Devils. That's scoreless right now in the first period. And the other game that happened early on today was the Sabres and Panthers. A 3-0 Sabres win over the defending Stanley Cup champions, back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. They've lost 4 in a row. There's Patrick Roy, 4-time Stanley Cup champion, 2 with Montreal and 2 with Colorado. Big contributor to those wins in 96 and 2001 for the Avalanche and for the Montreal Canadiens, winning the Cup in 93 with them. That was his last Cup with the Montreal Canadiens. 3-time Vezina Trophy winner with the Canadiens, Patrick Roy, and he's still arguing with the referee, Peter McDougall. Tied at 2, 5:08 left to go here. Face-off win for the Islanders behind the net. Barzal has it, pressured by Pinto. Barzal still has it, he shoots, it was blocked in front. Zub trying to get it out, he will, out to center. Amadio trying to get to the puck. And almost a turnover at the blue line by the Islanders. Palmieri, D'Angelo gets the puck now. Here's Boqvist moving it in, sending it deep into the corner. Duclair getting interfered with, no penalty. Palmieri, Sanderson, now Gregg along the boards. Held in by Barzal for just a moment. He still holds it in. Barzal, a nice move to hold it in. Passing it for Boqvist at the point. Rimming it all the way around. Along the boards is Palmieri. D'Angelo trying to get it free. Pinto instead gets it free for Ottawa. Amadio will look to clear it, and he will as he chops it out to center. D'Angelo now with the puck with 4:05 left to go here in the second period. Onside of the Islanders. Sending it deep into the corner. Sanderson trying to get it. Tied up along the boards. It is fought for. Continuing to be fought for. Drouin trying to get it free. Drouin, one of the new additions here for the Islanders in this new season. Trying to pass it down low. Horvat for Drouin. The pass is intercepted there by Cousins. Pulock will have the puck now. He'll circle back and wait as Cousins is pressuring him. Backhand pass for Pelech. Cleared out of the zone. Not enough for an icing. Jensen will play it off the boards with 3.5 minutes to go here in the second. Almost a turnover to Bo Horvat. Jensen pressured by Bo Horvat. Cleared to the line, not out. Shabbat now. Smart play to move it ahead for Cousins. Right into the middle for Batherson. Cutting in. 3-on-2. Jensen now to Stützle. He shoots. He scores! Tim Stützle restores the Ottawa lead. Nice play on the rush on a 3-on-2. Jensen, Batherson, Stützle right into the slot, walks in, scores. 3-2 Ottawa. 3:14 left to go. What a shot by Tim Stützle. And on the 25th shot for the Senators, they restore their lead at 16:46. Jensen, Batherson with the assist. Tim Stützle second of the season. And it's a 3-2 Ottawa lead. Pajot will rim it all the way around. Anders Lee along the boards. Pressured off the puck. Pajot will get it. Pajot centered. Goes through everybody, and Schaefer gets it at the point. Schaefer holds it in with 2:49 to go. Pajot along the boards. Lee will rim it all the way around for Schaefer again. Schaefer pressured off the puck almost, but he still made the pass to Anders Lee. Sending it deep around the boards. Here is Mayfield along the boards. Trying to get it free. Back up high to the point. Pajot holds it in. Sending it deep. Lee out of his reach. And Lee with a good hit there to keep the puck in the Islanders' possession. Schaefer sending it deep into the corner. Behind the net, Shabnov has it. Waiting. Shoots! Save, score! It went in! We are tied! A quick shot has tied the game at 3. Shabnov with the goal, and we're tied at 3. Wow. Lee, the screen in front with Clevin tied up in front. We are tied at 3. What a period we've had here in the second period. And Schaefer and Shabnov, I believe Schaefer got an assist on that one, and I think its point streak continues. Or Schaefer held in at the point, and it was a big play to keep that play alive. So on the next shift, after the Ottawa Senators had scored their goal, the Islanders respond and they get the tying mark again. They have tied the game for the second time tonight. Shot back in by Shabbat. Big hit along the boards. Here's Batherson trying to restore the lead. Tim Stützle's back out there for the Senators. Zub now to Shabbat, sending it low. Batherson at the point, sending it back. Cousins pressured by Polak along the boards. Batherson gets it in the corner of less than 100 seconds to go. Shabnov, Max Shabnov, second goal of the season. Schaefer and Lee with the assist. That continues with Schaefer's point streak to 5. He's recorded a point in his first 5 career games as a rookie. What a mark by Matthew Schaefer. Turnover here is Stützle, 3-on-2. Stützle again in the high slot, passing it. Here's a shot by Cousins, he scores! The Senators get the lead right back. Dylan Cousins. 4-3. What a second period we've had here. What a shot. Another setup by Stützle. It's another point for Stützle in the period. Cousins beats Sorokin on the glove side, and it's 4-3. What a chaotic period here. It was 1-0 Ottawa when we entered this period, and now it's a 4-3 Ottawa lead. 3 goals by the Islanders, 3 by the Senators. We've had a 6-goal period again on the NHL and MHS. This is unbelievable. We have picked some really good games to commentate here, aren't we? Barzal trying to clear it out of the zone. Boqvist can't get it out. Pinto held it in. Cousins with his 3rd of the season. Stützle with the assist at 18:47. Barzal will shoot it back in. That was blocked away. Amadio. Barzal fell down. Here's a chance. Onside. Amadio. Backhander denied by Sorokin. Almost made it 5-3 and restored the 2-goal lead for the Senators back. Wow. What a save. Might be a game-winning stop there if the Islanders were able to tie this game up at 4. Back in are the Senators. Amadio cutting to the net. Amadio to the net. He is poke-checked away at the last second with 10 seconds to go here in the second period. What a period we've had here. Barzal. D'Angelo, that'll end the second. A 4-3 lead for the Senators. A 1-0 lead when we left. The lead is still 1, but we've had a lot more scoring. 4-3 after 40. They're going to need a big third period here to keep the score like that so they can get the win, or the Islanders trying to come back and tie the game for the 3rd time today. 4-3, we'll be back. We have a very good intermission report coming up next. We are back in our intermission report. If you're just joining us, I'm Max. Delighted to have you with us here. 4-3 Ottawa over the New York Islanders. The shots are 27-16. We've had a wild second period. Let's go over this one goal we had in the first period, though. At 17:01, David Perron sneaks one through. Shabbat Kaliev with the assist. It's just a simple shot from the circle, and it just snuck through Sorokin. I don't know how he didn't get that. Just playing it off the boards, and it just snuck in to the 5-0. Then at 5:32 in the second period, Shane Pinto, they say a slap shot. I thought it was a one-timer, honestly. And Shane Pinto was passing it with Batherson, and then the one-timer right there. It should be a one-timer. 5:32 in, it is 2-0 Ottawa. 7th of the season for Pinto. Batherson and Shabbat with the assists right there, and they're up by 2 at that moment. Then a minute and 18 seconds later, Emil Heineman, Drouin, and Mayfield with the assists. And throwing it towards the net was Mayfield, and then the rebound was there. Heineman scores at 6:50 to 1 game. Then Bo Horvat at 9:57, basically halfway through this second period. They re-enter off a bad Senators change, and a great play by Pulock, passing it to Bo Horvat. 4th of the season for Horvat. Pulock and Lee with the assists, 2-2 tie. 16:46, we had a lot of goals around the tail end of the period. Tim Stützle with his 2nd of the season. Jensen Batherson with the assists. And it was a odd man rush as the Islanders were getting caught up ice. And a great shot by Tim Stützle, who was all alone in the slot. Then basically 59 seconds later, Max Shavnov, Schaefer, continues his point streak. 4 assists and a goal for the youngster. And a goal there. Anders Lee with the assist as well at 17:45. He ties it. Schaefer continues his streak. He's the youngest player in NHL history to record a point in each of his 5 career games now, which is utterly insane for Matthew Schaefer. And then a minute and 2 seconds later, I told you there's a lot of scoring. Back and forth game right now. See if the Islanders tie it again going into the third. Another 3-on-2. And Tim Stützle found an open Cousins in the circle. Shot it in for his 3rd of the season. A wrist shot beats Sorokin on the glove side. And it is 4-3 Ottawa. Stützle with the assist there. His 2nd point of the period. And his 2nd assist of the season. And it's a 4-3 game. So all the penalties, I wasn't sure about this penalty right here. This was a very controversial call. That's why Patrick Waugh was arguing with one of the referees on the bench. And, yeah, let's look at the shots in that second period. First period, it was 11-5 favor Ottawa, and then we had a lot of shots. Defense was optional in that second period. 16-11, the shots were favoring Ottawa. We had a combined 27 shots in that period, which is also the total for the Ottawa Senators in the shots on goal. See what this third period brings us, because, wow, our second periods we've covered on the NHL and MHS recently have been spectacular to call. 27-16, the shots favoring the Senators. 52.6% of the faceoffs have been won by the Islanders. They're 0-2 on the power play, though. Ottawa, 1-2. 21-17, the hits favoring the Senators. Block shots favoring the Islanders, 12-9. Giveaways 13-11 favoring the Senators, and the takeaways 3-1. These two teams will meet again here at Canadian Tire Center all the way in March, on the 19th of March, and then again on April 11th, around the tail end of the season before the playoffs. That'll be at the UBS Arena in Long Island. Instead, that'll be the only matchup in the Islanders Arena versing this team. And if you're in the chat and cheer for your team here, because, wow, we've had a great game here in Ottawa. And type in the chat, what team are you a fan of, Senators or Islanders? If you're just tuning in with us as a hockey fan, gladly. We're so glad you've tuned in with us here, and we're glad you have watched that second period with us, or listened to that second period. As 5:05 until the second intermission, and Take a little bit of a break. We might get an analyst here in just a little bit, and we'll be back for the third period. Maybe do one more thing and do the NHL scores before we come back for the third period. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome you back to the intermission report. Quick intermission report because we're going to go straight into the third period in just a moment. As let's go over the scores in the National Hockey League. Our game 4-3, obviously. And I think there's a delay in New Jersey because there's no way we are still at 10 minutes in the Oilers game. Unless the NHL app is just glitching right now. Because it says the shots are 9-4, and then now they say 17-14. So no clue what is going on in whatever's happening in New Jersey, the Oilers and the Devils game. I have no clue what is going on and what is happening in that game. No clue what's going on. I don't know. I don't control the NHL app. But a 4-3 lead for the Ottawa Senators going into this third period. 3 goals for each team in that second period. Heineman with the goal to make it 2-1. Shane Pinto scored on the delayed call. And then this was a 3-2 goal by Stützle. And then Shabnov. At first I thought it was not in, and then couldn't even tell there. And then Cousins, the latest goal scorer in the game, made it 4-3 Ottawa. That's the difference right now in the game. And we'll see if the Islanders can tie up this game. If you're just tuning in with us, a crazy second period. Tim Stützle's second goal of the season today. As glad you're with us here. Third period, 4-3, Ottawa leading it. And in our first game we've ever done here at the Canadian Tire Center, we've had a good one. As the shots are 27-16. After that second period, in total between 40 minutes. And but I have the face-off here. Stützle out there, and he wins the face-off. As we're underway here in the third period. Shot back in. Rimmed all the way around. Pelech off the wall for Pulock. And moved ahead here. The Islanders looking to tie the game up at 4. Drouin will dump it back in off the body. Jensen will get it. Horvat was trying to get to the puck. It's stuck along the boards. Drouin trying to get it free. Batherson instead moves it ahead for the Ottawa Senators. Cousins will move it ahead here. Through center. Passing it off the boards for Stützle out of his reach. Pulock. Someone dropped their stick. It was Drouin as he was tying up, I believe, Batherson. Batherson will carry it in on side. Pinto's on the far wing. Here's Batherson's shot. Oh, my. He misses the net wide on a great opportunity in front on Sorokin. Pelech playing it off the wall for Heineman. One of the goal scorers in tonight for the for the New York Islanders. Pelech playing it off the wall. Moved ahead here. That's going to be no icing, but they'll go for a line change as they dump it back in. Sanderson picks up the puck now. Moves it ahead through center. Carrying it in with some speed, playing it off the boards. Mayfield carries that away. Schaefer continues his point streak here today in this game with 5 straight games of a point to start off the season as a 18-year-old. Truly amazing what the Islanders have got here in this kid. Matthew Schaefer is going to be good for a long time. Schaefer will move it ahead. Barzell will dump it into the corner. Sanderson stole it away from Schaefer in the corner. And it is cleared out to center. Schaefer will shoot it back in. Playing it off the wall for Olmark. Zub. And now it is Clevin moving it ahead. Back for Zub again. Shooting it back in. Playing it off the boards. Heineman and D'Angelo got tripped up, and a penalty upcoming to Ottawa. Zetterlund will take the call at 1:59 of the third period, and the Islanders, who have not scored on the power play, have a chance to tie the game up at 4. The call on Zetterlund. Zetterlund does not like the call, obviously, in a tight game like this. D'Angelo. Ooh, yeah, that's a trip. That is a trip. There is no arguing that. Zetterlund's still mad about that, and it seemed like he went down a little too easily. It seemed like he was falling down already, but Zetterlund's going to the box regardless, and we have another Islanders power play. I believe their third one of the night. Horvat, Palmieri, Drouin, Barzell, and Schaefer out there. It would be great if Schaefer got a goal here. They're 0 for 2 on the night. 1 shot on the power play in total in all those 2 chances they've had. Palmieri has it behind the net, moving it ahead for Barzell. Back up high. And it goes back for Schaefer once again. Schaefer makes a move on Pinto, passing it down low for Drouin. Couldn't handle the pass. What a move by Schaefer. Could not hold it in. Race to the puck. Pinto's on a short-handed breakaway. Pinto's in. What a play, but he gets tripped up. Penalty shot. Penalty shot. Schaefer tripped up Pinto, and he's going to have a penalty shot. And Pinto in some distress. His wrist and hand shaking off what happened along the boards as he got collided with Sorokin as Schaefer was trying to make a play as Shane Pinto was going for a breakaway shorthanded, and he tripped him up, and in the wrist, I believe, got on the goalpost. 1:36 to go on the Islanders power play, but Pinto's going to go on a penalty shot here. It's the first time we've seen a penalty shot in a long time here on the NHL and MHS. We did not have one last season. First time this season. Shane Pinto trying to go for his second of the game. Shane Pinto on a penalty shot. Has a chance to make it a 5-3 lead for the Senators. Shane Pinto moves it ahead. Slows in. Waits. Shoots, and a save by Sorokin. A big stop for Sorokin on a penalty shot. Schaefer getting bailed on that one. Sorokin with a huge stop there on Shane Pinto to prevent a 2-goal deficit for the Islanders. And I think Pinto just shot that wide. I don't even think Sorokin got a piece of it. Maybe a little bit, but wow. Big opportunity for the Senators right there, and couldn't put it home. Shane Pinto for his second of the game, and his 8th of the season. 28-16, the shots favoring the Senators. A bullet dodged there by the Islanders. They're trying to tie the game up on this power play. A penalty shot was just awarded right there, and Shane Pinto couldn't put it home. Horvat wins the faceoff. We've had a lot here in this game. Palmieri. And now Schaefer. Got bailed there by his goalie. Wouldn't it be crazy if he gets a goal here to tie it? Drouin will move it ahead. Barzell dropping it off for Horvat. Back to the point for Schaefer. Passing it across. Palmieri. Drouin again. Schaefer holds it at the blue line. And he had some trouble, but he sends it in deep for Palmieri. Off his stick. Goes for Horvat in the corner. Pressured. Greg trying to get it out. Pinto back to the point. It is held in by Schaefer. It was kicked away, and Pinto's back at onside again on a short-handed chance. Pinto's in. Drags. Trying to go through the legs. Couldn't. Islanders the other way. Couldn't reach the puck there. Horvat. Shabbat playing it off the boards for Jensen. Jensen looking to clear it. And Stützle stumbles, but he clears it. Nothing on this Islanders power play. There's been more short-handed opportunities for the Senators. Schaefer's been out here for the majority of this power play with 30 seconds to go on it. Schaefer now will drop it off. Shabnov, who got the latest goal for the Islanders to tie the game up at 3. Cleared out of the zone once again, race for the puck. Schaefer with Stützle. Stützle gets there first. Schaefer went down. Stützle in the corner. This has been a great penalty kill by the Senators. They have kept it on the Islanders' side of the ice. Sure-handed, and they're about to go 0 for 3 on the night. Goes into the corner. Duclair couldn't get it. Cleared out of the zone once again. A successful penalty kill for the Senators. 0 for 3 are the Islanders today. Cizikas right to the middle. McLean passing it far wing. Backdoor Cizikas was stopped. No shots on that power play for the Islanders, but a penalty shot for the Senators on that power play for the Islanders. Keeping this a game. Shot back in. This was deflected by Cizikas at center. No icing here as Clevin playing it off the wall. McLean trying to get it. Battle along the wall for it. Cizikas. Holmstrom, Eller. Clevin out there as well. Perron will move it ahead. No, it's held in the zone by the Islanders. A turnover. Holmstrom across. One-timer was denied off the blocker of Omark. Held in the zone by Pellick. Sending it deep for Holmstrom. Horvat centering pass. Deflects out of the zone. Ottawa and New York go for a change. Pellick will move it ahead for Drouin. Passing it to Horvat. Horvat through the legs. Poke checked away by Shabbat. Batherson will move it ahead. Here come the Senators the other way. Cousins drops it off for Jensen. Jensen to Cousins. Backhander. Wide of the net. Horvat will move it ahead the other way. Heineman intercepted at center. And then intercepted again. Mayfield's slap shot stopped. With 14:28 left to go here in the third. 28-18, the shots favoring the Ottawa Senators in a 4-3 lead. Islanders had a power play. Ottawa had a penalty shot. No difference in the score when we left the second period and go into this third period. No difference here at all. Still a 4-3 Ottawa lead. The difference right now, Dylan Cousins' goal in the late stages of the second period. Barzell and Pinto in the face-off dot. Palmieri and Sanderson on the outside as well, near the boards in the glass. Duclair is 3 blocking the slot area for the Senators. Islanders win the face-off, but poked out of the zone by Amadio. Race for the puck, Cousins. Pullock pressured by Cousins. Forced into the corner. Pellick will move it ahead. Oh, there's Barzell now with the puck. He'll swing back behind his own net. He gathers some speed now. Moving it through center. Here's Barzell. Carrying it in. Barzell drops it off. Shot, score! Palmieri ties it. What a play by Barzell, carrying it the middle of the ice. And the goal by Palmieri's tied the game at 4. Barzell behind his own net makes that whole play happen, and he drops it off for Palmieri, who puts it in on the blocker side. We are tied at 4 here in Ottawa. With 6 minutes into the third period, what a shot by Palmieri. We are tied at 4. Wow. What a game we've had here. Second of the season for Palmieri at 6 minutes of the third period. Barzell and Pellick with the assist. What a hit along the boards on Shabnov. Pajot gets it in the corner. Lee behind the net. We are tied at 4 in the early stages of the third period. Gregg will clear it out to center. Shabnov now shot back in. Along the boards, Pajot. Gregg along the boards. Gets it free. Pajot back to the point. That's intercepted by Giroux, and the other way come the Senators. Dumped back in by Claude Giroux into the corner. Boqvist was trying to get it along the boards. Shabnov will move it ahead. Playing it on the far wing, Lee dumps it back in. Pajot trying to get to the loose puck. Spence playing it off the wall. Shabbat now will move it ahead. Perron lost it. Islanders dump it back into the Senators zone. Played off the wall. And here comes Cizikas passing it. Holmstrom shoots. Saved by Omark. Right off the shoulder. Shabbat clears it out to center. Perron was trying to get it at the flex, I believe, out of play with 12:47 to go. In a game where it is tied at 4, Palmieri has tied it up with a goal and then a big hit by Clevin after the goal on Shabnov. We'll be back. Tied at 4. We welcome you back to the Canadian Tire Center where we are tied at 4. If you left after our first period, you missed a lot of scoring. In a game where it's had a lot of scoring in the last period and a half almost. Tied at 4, the latest goal scorer, Kyle Palmieri. But a better play by Barzal, carrying it coast to coast, basically. There's Giroux's son and wife, I believe, in the crowd. And we're back underway here. Shot back in by Spence. We are tied at 4 here in Ottawa. 28-20, the shots favoring the Senators. Along the boards, comes back to the point for Spence. Spence playing it low. Sending it deep was Eller. Behind the net is Perron. Perron stuck along the boards. Perron pressured. Eller playing it for Spence. Spence up high. He shoots. It was blocked in front. Spence again from the corner. Centered. Deflects to the point. Eller through his legs. Holds it in. Perron sending it deep. Throws a hit on Mayfield. Spence. And then Schaefer will pick it up. And it is stuck along the boards. He gets tripped up almost. Tied up along the board still. It's a broken stick on the ice here. And McLean tried to clear it, could not. Here's a shot by Clevin. Deflected wide. Rebound. Oh, what a save, Sorokin. Rebound in front still. Oh, my goodness, what a save. Keeping the game tied at 4. Senators this close to getting a 5-4 lead. Clevin will move it ahead. Shoots it through. It was deflected. Playing it off the boards for Cousins. Circles around behind the net. Try to throw it out in front. Cousins gets it again. One-timer by Zub. Save made. Rebound by Pinto. Right into the crease. Cousins couldn't get it. Horvat tried to clear. He did. Wow. Senators. Some push here in the third period. 30-20. The shots favoring the Ottawa Senators. We have 50 total shots here in the game. 4-3, the shots favoring the Islanders in this period, though, as Horvat tried to pass it ahead for Heineman. One-timer, and that went wide of the net. Drouin. Heineman will rim it all the way around for Pelech. Pelech along the boards, gets bullied there by Batherson along the boards. Stolen away, Heineman, now to Horvat. Back for Heineman, deflected right into the slot. The pass was deflected by one of the Senators to keep that play alive. Down low. Here's a chance for Drouin. Centering it. Shot. Wide of the net. Right into the slot. Heineman will rim it all the way around, and Sanderson intercepts behind his own net. He'll have possession for the Ottawa Senators. They'll go for a change. What a game we've had here in Ottawa. We're almost halfway through the third period in a 4-4 tie. 30-20. The shots favoring the Ottawa Senators. Schaefer will get it. Played by Pinto. Schaefer up in the air. Pinto intercepts. Duclair trying to get it free. Jensen will hold it in. His shot was blocked in front. Barzal will clear it off the glass. Out to center ice for Duclair. Dropping it off. In on the zone. Here's Palmieri. He shoots it wide of the net. Amadio gets hit. And it's played out to center ice. Shot back in by the Islanders. Jensen will play it off the boards. We are more than halfway through the third period. In a game where it has been back and forth for a period and a half. Shabnov makes a move. Carries it in, but it's intercepted there as he gets angled off the puck. Spence now will move it ahead. That pass was intercepted. It's played back into their own zone. As it's shot back in by Shabbat. Intercepted, and Pelech will move it ahead. Dumped back in from center. Playing it off the boards, and Pelech was trying to get it free. Zetterlund along the boards fighting for the puck. There's a whistle. Where's the puck? 9:02 to go. There was a whistle, and I don't know what happened. Maybe the puck went out of play. Something must have happened. We will see. I'll check after the commercial break. 9:01 to go. We'll be back. Third period. 4-4 in Ottawa. We welcome you back. Flashback. Travis Green was with the Islanders from 92 to 98. He's now the coach of the Senators. He had 237 points in 388 games with the New York Islanders, and he's now coaching the Ottawa Senators. And back when they had those fisherman jerseys in the New York Islanders, controversial between fans and the fishermen. That logo was quite controversial in those new jerseys. Face-off won here by the Islanders, but the Senators will clear it out of the zone. Giroux pursuing the puck, played off the glass. Spence will go back. With less than 9 minutes to go here in regulation, McLean trying to get to the puck. Spence forced him off the puck, but McLean trying to get it back along the board. Cizikas has it in the corner. Behind the net, it's Holmstrom. Pressured by Clevin. Stützle will clear it out of the zone. He'll look to move it up. He had 2 points in that second period. He had a goal and an assist. Set up the last 2 goals for the Senators. 4-4 tie here in Ottawa. Holmstrom along the boards. Perron gets taken down. Cleared out of the zone by Holmstrom. Zub. Back in Zetterlund. Onside Cousins. Poke checked away. D'Angelo plays it in the corner. D'Angelo backhands it. Ahead for McLean. Regathered by Perron, and the Senators remove it back in. Onside with it. Sanderson looking. Rimming it all the way around. Perron. Here's Cousins. Back to the point for Zub. Zub shoots. Save made. Sorokin cleared out of the zone and potentially a 2-on-1 here. Hyndman moving it ahead. Hyndman to the net. Trying to pass it for Horvat, who was tied up. And the net comes off the pegs. But the Senators have possession here, and they continue to play. 7.5 to go here in the third. Now the Islanders get possession, and the net is dislodged behind the play. Olmark. And with 7:33 to go, we get a whistle. A 4-4 tie here in the Canadian Tire Center in a game where it has had a lot of scoring, as you can tell if you're just tuning in with us. A 4-4 tie here. Sanderson leads the Senators on ice time to 24 minutes and 6 seconds per game. And they're going to have to readjust this net here, as we are tied at 4 in a game where the Islanders have come back 3 times, I believe, in this game. They have tied the game 3 times. Coming back from a 2-goal deficit, coming back from a 3-2 deficit, and coming back from a 4-3 deficit. They have never had the lead here tonight. With 7:33 left to go here in the third period. Face-offs in the Islanders zone. Won by the Senators. Jensen at the point, playing it back. Here's a shot by Shabbat. Save made by Sorokin with 7:27 to go. A long-distance shot from Shabbat from the point was stopped by Sorokin, who has made 28 saves in the game. 7:27 left to go. Another face-off in the Islanders zone. 3 blocking the slot area. Face-off again won by the Senators. Shabbat gets it again. Sending it deep into the corner. Horvat. Now Barzell. Schaefer. Trying to get it free, and he does behind his own net. Schaefer in his skates. Now he flips it out. Here is Barzell carrying it in for Duclair in the corner. Duclair gets taken down. Palmieri back to the point. Here's Schaefer. He shoots! Deflected. Saved by Olmark. Jensen. Now Duclair. Centering pass for Schaefer out of his reach. 2-on-2 the other way for the Senators. Amadio will dump it back in as they go for a change. Less than 7 to go here in the third. Schaefer has it behind his own net. Tie game at 4 here in Ottawa. Schaefer behind his own cage will move it ahead. Deflected back into the zone. Clevin trying to get it. And it is played off the wall there and moved ahead here by Amadio. Clevin dumps it back in. Stützle trying to get to the loose puck. Sorokin out to play it. Turned it over here, and Pelech will shoot it ahead. Clevin angling off Lee off the puck. 6:15 left to go here in the third. Lee will get it. Clevin. Spence now was trying to get to the puck, and now Clevin has it behind his own net. Pointing to Spence. See if they can drop a play here. Chance raining down here in the Canadian Tire Center by the Senators fans. Less than 6 to go. Deflected. Back into the Islanders zone. Along the boards, Giroux. fighting for the puck still, jamming at it. Giroux trying to center one for Zetterlund. Horvat clears it out to center. Back in onside are the Islanders. Horvat waiting. Horvat centering pass was blocked away by Zub. Zetterlund will try to move it up, and Giroux turned it over right into the slot. Horvat in front of shot, saved by the blocker on Drouin. Cleared out of the zone. Not enough for an icing, I believe. It is not enough for an icing. 33-22, the shots favoring the Senators. One of the linesmen went down in the corner. We've had a lot in this game. Very eventful game here. Barzal, poke checked out of the zone. Race for the puck here. This Pellick who gets to the puck first with 5 minutes to go in the third here in Ottawa. 4-4 tie here in a game where we've had a lot of scoring in the past period or 2 periods. Had a 6-goal second period here. Icing called with 4:50 left to go as Amadio could not beat the icing call. So the Senators have to play in their own zone again with 4:50 left to go here in the third period of a game that's tied at 4. We're glad you're tuning in with us here and listening in with a game that this good. It has been a roller coaster here. Senators have had the lead all 4 times they've had it. A 1-0 lead, a 2-0 lead, a 3-2 lead, and a 4-3 lead. They are all gone. Islanders have come back from a 2-goal deficit and 2 1-goal deficits in the game. An offside, and then the Islanders have to touch up here. So the Senators have the puck in their own zone. Jensen with less than 4:40 left to go here in the third period in a game that's tied at 4. A very entertaining game here in Ottawa. Very entertaining Saturday, jam-packed Saturday full of NHL games. Stützle takes it away off the boards. Here's Batherson trying to get a shot away. Could not get it. So weird carom off the boards, and wouldn't it be sad if this game ended like that? Bad change by the Islanders. Here's a shot, and that goes wide of the net. Great chance by Cousins. Cousins carries it in again. Drops it off for Spence. Back for Cousins. Trying to feed it up high. Cleven's shot was wide. Rebound was blocked in the slot with less than 4 to go. Schaefer clears it out of the zone for the Islanders. They're taking on some water here. Stützle. That is flipped out of the zone once again by the Islanders. They're trying to get this to overtime probably. Spence. Cleven now. Stützle plays it back for Spence. Pressured by Mayfield. Pardon me, Pajot. Shot back in by the Senators into the corner. Mayfield trying to get it. Along the boards, Zetterlund tried to center one. Drouin will move it ahead with 3.5 minutes to go here in the third period. Horvat dumps it back into the corner. Drouin trying to get it. Sanderson playing it off the wall. Zub. That deflects into the netting and out of play with 3:19 left to go here in the third period. We are tied at 4 with 3:19 to go in the third. We'll be right back in a game that has been very good. We'll be back. We welcome you back to Ottawa, a game that has had a lot of scoring. 4-4 with 3:19 left to go here in the third period. Tim Stützle with a goal and an assist. He has been very good in this game. Very, very competitive and back and forth game here in Ottawa. As we have still 3:19 left to go here in regulation. And let's see what happens here in the last 3 minutes. Ottawa clears it out of their own zone. Schaefer gave it away into the middle. Pinto, back check there by Barzell. And Schaefer will get it again and move it ahead for Duclair. In the skates of Zub, and moved ahead here by the Senators. 3 minutes left to go. Amadio will dump it back into the far corner. Schaefer trying to get it first. Amadio will get there first. Centering pass, no one was there. Duclair will move it ahead for Palmieri. Barzell on the other wing. Barzell cutting to the net. Now he circles back and waits in the circle, dropping it off to the point. Pellick's shot was blocked in front. Zub playing it back for Sanderson. Behind his own net with 2.5 minutes to go here in the third period. Sanderson between the circles now in his own zone. Sanderson playing it for Stützle. Pellick will clear it out of the zone. 60-42, the shot attempts favoring the Senators. That shot just missed the net wide. Rebound goes behind the net. Horvat playing it off the wall. What a play there. Centering pass to Drouin. Could not connect. Batherson will move it ahead for Stützle. Cousins with him. Stützle along the boards into the corner. 2 minutes left to go here in the third period. Cousins tied up along the boards with Pulock, pardon me. And is moved ahead here by Heineman. Clearing it ahead for Horvat. Trying to backhand it back into the zone. And he could not as it goes into the Ottawa bench with 1 minute and 49 seconds to go. As the Islanders were going for a change there. 33-22, the shots favoring the Senators. Tie game at 4. Schaefer back on there on the ice. The rookie, the first round pick in the draft. And he has had 5. He has had 5 points in the first 5 career games in his career. He had a point at least in the 5 career games he's had to start off this season. Schaefer will get it now. Behind his own net, pressured by Giroux, playing it off the glass. What a smart play there by Schaefer with less than 90 seconds to go here in the third period. Spence played it off the wall for Giroux. Shot back in by Ottawa, wide of the net by Sorokin. Mayfield stole it away. Stuck it along the boards, Perron. 1 minute and 15 left to go here in the third. Eller playing it back off the wall. And moved ahead here, and Lee couldn't receive the pass there. Spence pressured. Lee takes it away. Lee all alone. He scores! Anders Lee with 63 seconds left of the third. Makes it 5-4 Islanders. What a play by Anders Lee, stealing the puck away from Spence, and it's a 5-4 Islanders lead, their first time leading in the game. He out-muscled Spence, and with 1 minute and 3 left to go here in the third, the Islanders have their first lead of the game with 63 seconds left in the third. Wow. If you thought this game was not going to get any crazier, you just saw it right there. And now, wouldn't it be crazy if this game just gets a tying goal? What if Ottawa just ties it real quick? Oh, boy. This game's been crazy. I wouldn't think they couldn't. 1 minute left to go in the third. Ottawa needs to tie the game up at 5. They haven't trailed in the game ever. Cousins will shoot it back in, looking to tie the game. Empty net at the other end. Anders Lee, his first at 18:57. Pajot and Mayfield the assist. Pinto behind the net. Empty net at the other end for the Senators. Sanderson waiting. Sanderson shoots. Save! Cousins in the rebound. Stützle holds it in the corner. 37 seconds to go. Played off the boards. Not held in by Stützle. Stützle pressured by Drouin. Stützle will play it back. A smart play by Sanderson. 25 to go. Stützle will move it ahead. Trying to tie the game up at 5. Stützle to Sanderson. Playing it across. 20 seconds to go. In the slot. Taken away. Cleared. And it's blocked away for the empty net. 14 seconds to go. Sanderson, they got to hurry. Ottawa needs one quickly. Sanderson will shoot it back in. That's an offside if the Senators touch it. 4 seconds to go. They stop the clock as Batherson wants to fight with one of the Islanders. And now his cousin's getting tied up now. 5.4 left to go. Wow. The game the Ottawa Senators have led in for the majority of it. The Islanders have just spoiled it in Canadian Tire Center. Lee, the goal scorer, and potentially the game winner. That should have been a penalty, actually. Mayfield actually slashed them. Yeah, that could have been a penalty right there on the Islanders. With 5.4 left to go, there's still an empty net at the other end. Ottawa's going to need a miracle to tie this game up at 5. See if they add any time back onto the clock here. Let's see if Ottawa's taking their timeout. I think they are. Timeout for Ottawa. They're going to need a miracle to tie this game up at 5 with 5.4. Let's see if they add any time back to the clock, obviously. They can always add it back to the clock. Maybe add a couple of milliseconds back onto the clock. Some Sens fans already leaving as they've just seen their team give up a goal with 1 minute and 3 seconds left in the third period. I thought we were going to overtime. It always gets spoiled somehow. Man, oh man. Anders Lee with the goal to put the Islanders in front. And if the Senators get a tying goal with a miracle here, it's going to be called the Ottawa Miracle that they tie this game up at 5. 5.4 left to go in the third. Face-offs outside the Islanders zone. If they get a face-off win, they could. Batherson shot back in, cleared. Islanders win it. 5-4. What a comeback by the New York Islanders. They get their second win of the season. Sorokin, big in net. What a game. 5-4 Islanders comeback. Wow. What a game. And a disappointing end for the Ottawa Senators in this game at home. They scored the first goal they hadn't been able to the whole time, and they still could not win. Wow. That is gotta hurt. The 3 stars of the game. Anders Lee with a goal to go ahead. 2 assists. Tim Stützle, 1 goal, 1 assist, and then Bo Horvat's 4th goal of this season. Anders Lee with the game winner with 1 minute and 3 seconds left to go in the third. What a game. Senators' next game is against the Edmonton Oilers on Tuesday. What a win. What a big win and a momentum shifter for the New York Islanders. They come back to win this game 5-4 over the Ottawa Senators. What a win here for the Islanders. What a game we just saw here. Well, that'll do it for us here on the NHL and MHS's afternoon hockey edition of the NHL and MHS. 5-4 Islanders. The game winner by Anders Lee. What a win. We'll be back, everybody. We'll see you next time, everybody.